Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. I'm your host Migs, here with my co-host Charlie. And today's episode, this is episode 59. It will be a collector council episode. We will have Trae on because we need to talk about this drama that was the Buckeye warehouse sale. There's so much that we got to unpack. It's going to be a crazy episode, and I can't wait to get into it.
Couldn't agree more. But before we get in that, you know what to do. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, thank you so much. Make sure you're subscribed so you know when new episodes drop. And then if not, if you're on the YouTube, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. You like this video, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. And also make sure you're checking us out on Instagram at Collector Chatter. All right, with that being said, let's chat.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We are super excited for this episode. Like I said in the intro, we do have our man Trae, so I wanted to let him say what's up real quick. Trae, what's going on?
How's it going, everybody? How's it going?
It's going, man. It's going.
Going good.
So this is gonna be another collector council type episode where we're gonna just kind of be going back and forth on a bunch of stuff. We definitely want to touch mostly on the Buckeye drama and everything that's been going on with Funko, and a lot of things that kind of have stemmed from that as well, which might be bigger problems than we maybe would have thought initially. So we'll kind of get into that. We'll start it off actually right off the bat with that because that's going to be the majority of what we're going to talk about. We do want to talk about some stuff later on. Also want to talk about some movie stuff later on, which would be pretty cool. Something new for us. Maybe talk about some of the, Super Bowl trailer drops that came out. So that would be exciting. But let's get into this drama, this chaos that was the Buckeye sale, save a buck and Buckeye, whatever they wanted to call it. Which was, of course, for those of you living under a rock, I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but if you're watching this, you probably know what it is. The warehouse sale that they had in Buckeye, Arizona, which was by Phoenix, which we knew was a big warehouse that they were going to have. We just didn't think this was going to be something that came out of it. Basically, was just an excess of extra pops, let's say, or overstock or whatever it was, and they decided to put it on a pretty massive sale. And it was over the weekend. I believe it was Thursday through Sunday, which just passed. And they pretty much opened it up to people to go there. And they had pops for 50, 75% off, etc. We thought it was going to be cool. It's clearance sale. We kind of talked about it and figured it would be like those random pops that just didn't sell and have been sitting on shelves and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of was that, right? A little bit. But it was a little bit more. Not just that, which is so crazy. So obviously, the biggest thing is that they had a lot of exclusive things that we felt, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure all three of us felt this, should not have been involved here, right? Let's say.
No.
And the biggest one, and we talk about this all the time, so we're just gonna go right into it, is the NFT one. It has to be the biggest elephant in the room. Like, there's a few things that we'll talk about that were pretty bad, but the NFT one is the one that I think is causing a bigger uproar because, like, we're trying to figure out, like, what does this mean in the long term of Funko NFTs, going forward. So Charlie, you could kick it off with some like details on what happened with the NFT specifically, like what we mean by that, and then we can kind of go into what you think about it.
So first thing I'll start off with was there was a list that was going around the internet, which essentially warehouse sales like this have it. I've seen it before when I've gone to like clothing ones, let's just say, where it kind of shows all the items that are in the store, what their prices are. So you kind of just like know. And you're scrolling through the list and like, oh my God, NFTs on there, $15. So I'm just gonna start off right there. $15. It was one of the cheaper things on the whole list too, which like I feel like a lot of people are talking about, which also just makes it insane. And some people have joked like, oh, maybe they were selling digital packs or whatever. And it was actually physical Funko Pops, which obviously, like Mick said, we talk about all the time. And if everyone knows what we've been told by the community from both Drop and Funko, and Drop is very well versed with the fans, especially in their Discord. And there's been screenshots taking of this. The ones that are not redeemed will be destroyed. And it's not the case, at least for some of them, because some people were able to get, well, a.k.a. Funko workers. That's what makes this even worse. It doesn't seem like anyone else was be able to get anything. They never put more on the shelf. They kind of sold out, which also makes me feel weird why that was even on like the sheet that was there for the store, but that's a whole other story. and they were like the Leonardo Grails, which is the first ever Grail in the Funko NFT, you know, universe.
Yeah.
So that makes it even worse. I mean, that pop is going for hundreds of dollars, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. At one point, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, any of you guys, but I think it almost was at like 1,000. Some people were paying.
I think the highest I saw was like 1,100.
Yeah.
So some people paid that, but
Yeah.
this dude got a few of them for $15. I like still can't get over this. It's really, really bothering me. I've had a lot of time to think about why this could have happened. And, I don't want to jump and just, blame drop, which some people are. At the end of the day, they're just answering to Funko. I think someone probably made a mistake, want to just get rid of them. That's why they were on the sale. But the whole elephant in the room is, why weren't they destroyed?
Right.
Yep.
I
So
definitely do agree. I've been back and forth with the whole NFT thing. I was a little mad at first, but only because I could not redeem my grails that I
Yeah.
still have. So for me, I was upset. But, I thought about it and I was like, well, it's one of those things where, yeah, they should have been destroyed, but it was also the first time they did. That was their first release. So
Mhm.
it was still relatively new to them as well, and how they were going to destroy them, or if they were going to supposed to. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I was upset for the first few hours, but then I was like,
I mean, I'm
oh
happy
well.
you just brought that up because I was wondering if you were going to. So now that you did, it's like out in the open that you
Yeah.
didn't get to redeem them. That makes me even more annoyed because someone like yourself, that was an early process, which, everyone kind of knows what to do
Yeah.
now, even though another thing that was before was like on the drop platform. So that's like another thing some people, or even myself, is like,
Right.
you know what? Maybe it was handled differently until drop took over. Because their first big drop was the Freddy Funko Halloween series. So the
Yeah.
ones before that weren't them. So the Turtles, the Big Boy, the Iron Maiden, like those are the big series. But it shows that there's people like yourself who really wanted to be able to redeem it. They kind of told you couldn't because it was too late, but they still have them. That's what
Yeah.
also like upsets me. And the other thing that's kind of funny about this is I'm sure the dude who told the people that got caught on video that got shared all around, like the Funko employee, I'm sure he's fired, which I'm not trying to laugh, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure he is. Like, I'm sorry, but like he's
It,
caused a lot of
yeah.
issues for the company.
And that's what I was thinking too. Like, okay, the employees bought it, right? But it's like other companies like shoes, sneakers stores, they get first dibs sometimes. GameStop employees get dibs first time.
Yep.
And I was like,
Target
okay,
employees.
yeah, Target employees, obviously we all know that one. But yeah, and I was like, well, I get it. But then it's like, shit, I'm upset because I couldn't redeem it, or drop couldn't be like, hey, here's another opportunity to redeem what wasn't redeemed. You know what I mean? Since I didn't
Hmm.
get to redeem, but
Also, I
that's
don't think
just
that same employee should have bought them all.
right.
You're
That could
right.
have
There is
been
a perk to working at a store and getting first dibs, but it doesn't
right.
mean let me take every single thing that's there.
That's true
No.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
if they had a limit for all the customers, because I talked to David and he was like, yeah, there's a limit of what you can get. Why didn't they do that limit for the employee as well? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Especially
Mason.
So
I
knowing
want you to give your thoughts on this.
yeah. So here's my thing. So I have like the good and the bad in this. So one, I understand. I'm completely with you on the sense of like the employee thing. Like it does make sense that like they should have the opportunity. And even so, like Charlie almost we can almost quote him on this, basically saying that like at one point in time he said if there was ever anything that was ever left behind or whatever, like it should be part of either a giveaway or B given to employees, right?
Yeah.
And I completely was on the same boat with him on that type of thing. When it came to like, because obviously there was also Fun Days boxes in this. There was like a couple other weird things. It wasn't just NFTs that were a little like, why do they have these extra ones? They were supposed to be part of an exclusive thing. So like to me, it sucks because it's like it's a numbered piece. So it's supposed to be like a certain one or whatever it is, right? But I understand that it was the first drop. Everything was completely different back then. The process was completely different. Even though back then they've always said that it was going to be a certain number and the rest were going to be gone, maybe they just didn't do it the right way. Whatever. Regardless, these pops clearly existed and they were still there, right? According to this guy who we said is probably no longer working for Funko or whoever he was working for at that time, said there was like 2 boxes or whatever it was. So it clearly wasn't like a massive amount. But even though it was only 2 boxes, it was weird that it was involved in this sale and it was on that pricing sheet. That's the part that is a little weird to me. It's like, why even bother putting them on there, having them on this pricing sheet? Why can't they be part of like an exclusive or a Twitter giveaway or whatever they do, something like that? Like when you know this is like you're only gonna get $15 for it. Like, no, just give it away. Don't sell it to essentially someone who's gonna flip it for 4, because what we saw was that right
Yeah,
away these pops are
480.
going out for like 400
And it
plus for
sold.
each one. And that was because this guy got them for $15 or whatever it was. So like that was stupid. Then secondly, the limit thing. So they said 2 per exclusives, 2 per whatever it was, right? So this guy comes out and says that they got accidentally sold, which was like another weird word or whatever the hell. So now you're like, so clearly these were supposed to be sold at the event that first day, whatever it was, and they weren't supposed to be held for employees. So like what we're saying would have been okay wasn't even something that Funko seemed like they were gonna do anyways. So in that way, now you look like a jackass for whoever. Now, who's that employee that bought it? First of all, obviously there's got to be a way for them to know.
Yeah.
Because one, he bought them accidentally because they weren't supposed to be sold. And then secondly, he essentially bought them all and then went and tried to flip them or did flip them, whatever. And it's just like, it's just weird because like, I don't know how that like happened, but I don't know. I'm trying to like not. It's just it's annoying. It's so annoying.
It's funny. Drop me like a statement too, like we're gonna try to get these like
Yeah, I
back.
saw that.
So now
Yeah,
some people are like, are they the ones who bought them off of eBay?
yeah,
But
yeah. I
like,
saw
there's
that.
no way that happened.
I saw that, and it was funny because people started saying like obviously drop wasn't essentially really a part of this drop,
Yep.
and they were like one of the first ones to come out and like try to write, and make sure their
Yeah.
name is cleared. And they
Yeah.
didn't say like, oh, we have nothing to do with this. They literally took ownership, like this should never have happened. There was, a certain amount of
Right.
things that were there, blah, blah, blah. And they just did it. But honestly, I respect them for that. Even if they
Agreed.
didn't need to say
Yeah.
that, I respect them for that because, okay, I said it last time. We probably at one point Funko's probably not going to like us because lately we've been kind of hammering them, but I'm going to hammer them right now. I'm pissed that Funko hasn't said shit. They
I agree.
haven't at
I
all
agree.
They're not
mentioned
going
anything
to.
with this, and they're not going to. And it's the same situation, Charlie. I don't know if you remember where we had something. I can't even remember what the actual thing was, but it was a bad mess up that they did, and we were like, "Why isn't Funko coming out and saying anything?" And they literally never did. Do you remember that?
I do, but now I'm trying to remember what it was for.
It had to be for like maybe these boxes being resold, something kind of similar. I feel like it was, and we were like, "Bro, Funko has to say something, whatever." And I can't remember what it was, but
Me either. Which I
damn,
wish
what
I
was
did.
it? I don't remember what it
Because
was.
we had an
But
episode about it, I think.
yeah, literally, I remember, but I can't remember what the hell it was because all I'm thinking about is everything they've been doing lately. But either way, that's like annoying. And then because I wanted to get in this part in there, so the whole limit thing was something that completely went away, anyways, which was ridiculous because supposedly that first day maybe it was kind of being like something that they were like, okay, you can only do 2 of this, 2 of that.
That people
But
are
it's
just
not,
going like this.
but it's not even true because we saw people reselling things in bulk immediately. So
Yeah.
clearly they weren't. And according to people who were there and like, whatever posts and stuff that were going up, people were saying like that they were just letting you buy whatever. And there really wasn't like a limit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, well, I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly someone said during like the quote unquote riot, what they people were sprinting in, and when they got to a table, they legitimately got a bag and they went like this and just put them all in their off the table into a bag. and then there was like they're in
Yeah.
their possession now.
Well, I
I
was gonna
actually
get into
believe that
that one
happened.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I
but
actually saw some videos where there was people that actually went to the warehouse, and they were going through the parking lot, and you know how they have those big bags from SDCC
Yep.
and multiple, not like one or two. I'm talking about multiple full where like the pops were like almost about to come out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, like obviously there was no limit, but yeah,
Yeah, there's
Well,
no
the
way
thing
that there
insane.
was.
the thing too that was unfortunate about it, but whatever, everyone has their opinions on flippers. They were probably buying even common like Funko exclusive pops because they were so cheap. Even if they flipped them for like, here, you want this for $15, they made money off of it.
$10.
And
It would.
like,
I
if
think
you're
they were like
part of the
750.
hustle,
I think it
yeah.
was 750 each
So
one.
like, if you care about just making that extra buck, that's like another thing that definitely happened at this warehouse. So
Yeah. And I mean, so there's a couple other things specific to the
yeah,
warehouse, and I want to get to them, but I don't want to forget about this because it is tied to the NFT, and I did want to kind of get your thoughts on it. But this kind of conversation has now arose where Funko NFTs now are like people aren't trusting the actual truths to these redeemables, these cards being numbered, whatever it is. And it's now like it kind of starting to worry me a bit because I'm a pretty big fan. Charlie's probably a little bit bigger of a fan because he genuinely loves NFT passes. You know, the way I look at it is like I'm trying to get the redeemable. So in my mindset is I did love the whole chase of getting something and like a lottery aspect and getting lucky because it was only that many and because it was going to be numbered and exclusive and whatever. But like now, do you think, and we've said this with sodas and we talk about it all the time, why wouldn't this be true? Are the NFTs really that many that they say they are? Or are we getting these extra ones out there? Because specifically with this one, this was the Grail, and the Grail is the one that's usually got the least number.
Like
The Grail is
99.
usually the one that is redeemed the most, and there was 2 boxes of them like just randomly. So like, do you think they really were 2 boxes that just didn't get redeemed, or are Funko NFT numbers and limiting things like fake?
okay. So I'll give my opinion on that first. I don't think they're fake, especially not now. Like, I know we joke about the sodas, which I don't even think that is a joke. That I do believe may not be real. There's just this is such an unfortunate event that this happened, but I do think I'm going to put a lot of stake in that. It was the very first drop. New people are in charge. Patrick, who, is basically the voice of Drop. I've interacted with him before in the Discord. He's super cool. And like, they are in it, like the NFT business world. They, I don't think want to mess up the integrity. I know they can only do so much because at the end of the day, Funko's got them by their balls and like they need to listen to them. But I don't think they would go along with it if they were doing something like that, in my opinion. Like it's not like we saw, the most recent redeemed, like a bunch of Nickelodeon ones there, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
like
would
what
have
I
been
was
crazy.
thinking too was because they said they had 2 boxes, right? Which is 6 per box, what, 12.
Oh,
So I
If it is
actually
that
brought it
way though, it could have been, he just could have just said that it could have been different for the
right.
NFTs.
So actually, that's good that we talked about it because I actually brought it up right now. The actual from Discord, the redeemable stats.
mhm.
So Leo was originally 999, and only 909 were redeemed.
Oh wow.
So that's a pretty big
So it is a
number.
good
Yeah.
amount that weren't.
So now it makes you think, where are the others?
Yeah. Because if they clearly aren't destroying them or burning them or whatever it is, they have to physically have been made. And we've kind of
They're,
gone back and
yeah,
forth on this on like when do they make these and is that why they take so long that they maybe delay? But I truly think they're made like
Correct. I agree.
right
yeah,
away, like definitely are. And then they decide to, ship them out. So that means that clearly, even let's say there was 12 just to get to the max,
Yep.
we're still looking at a lot more, like over 70 that are
yeah,
not redeemed, but they're out there, right? And
right,
obviously you were one of those that would have been able to get it, but
yeah,
unfortunately weren't. But the physical pop has to obviously exist
yeah.
if these specifically did. right? So like I would like to believe that the future drops, they don't. I want to feel like more people are redeeming now than they used to.
Yeah.
Overall, like if we look at those stats for other drops, I would think the newer ones usually are a little bit more percentage are being redeemed. But
the other thing though too is like it's not necessarily just someone like being in Trae's case where they forgot to redeem it or didn't want to. Like there's still turtle packs that you could buy on like Atomic Hub. Like the grills are some of those grills are in those packs. But that's like
yeah,
the other thing
sure.
too, which sometimes happens. So
Yeah,
But it still
looking at
means
the
that physical
redeemable
pop is out
stats.
there, though. That's the
yeah,
thing. It's not because
Yeah,
even if they
because
redeem it, it doesn't mean they're getting the physical pop because it's already gone and never going to be given to them. So it's like
yeah,
someone has it in a warehouse or somewhere, you know?
and it sucks too because they can't just go off of what was redeemed. They have to. I'm assuming going off of the 999, and
yes.
that sucks because this is something too that I've thought about where they should just go off the number of the card, but then if you go off the number of the card, say it's 999, but it's really not 999, and like some of these numbers, like the Silent Bob one, only 968 were redeemed out of the 999 Grail.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got 999 and say they give you that number, not that's not a true number because they're gone. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Like if they were actually numbered that way, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like if
I always said I wish they actually made the amount that got redeemed so
I
that we
think so
wouldn't
too.
have this situation. But I also understand the logistics of it and how it's probably not smart for them to do that, or it's probably not as easy. Because they can just mass produce these things knowing that they're going to be, you know, given out in cards already.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish it was that way. It would be a lot better and truer. And like you said, if they can actually number like one of 950 because it was only 950 or one of whatever it is, like it would be cooler in my opinion. I mean,
Yes,
I
because
still
it's not
love
Funko
them, but I
Gold.
just, but
Funko
yeah, oh
Gold has
yeah,
that.
because you know Funko is amazing. Why not do that?
One of
One of the best.
2023 of the
Yeah.
Kansas City, Chiefs Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. It's
Well, maybe
true.
the Eagles will be at the warehouse next
the
The
year.
Eagles are going to be
warehouse.
at the warehouse sale. They're definitely going to be there. But in all joking aside, I think the reason they don't do that is because there's no way logistically in the operation, it just doesn't make sense for them to get it to match your NFT number, which like
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like it's like, well, I have NFT number 1, but you gave me, number 560 of the pop. Like I think people will complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if like I I think I'd rather be that way, even if it's not perfect, than get like the sticker they got. I legitimately bought in stickers from like a group that tells my mint number on it and like how many were actually redeemed, which are kind of cool. And I
Like
wish,
a separate
like a
sticker
separate
thing.
thing. Like honestly, I even wish like, Funko could actually make those and sell them. Kind of, you
Yeah.
show proof that you have the NFT. I would buy it, even if it's, a few bucks. Or what they could maybe do if they really wanted to make everyone happy is maybe make them afterwards and then they could like send them out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just it's messy. It's just it doesn't
No, it is.
because it kind of also like I said, obviously this episode's obviously dropping now on Tuesday, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody, by the way.
Valentine's Day.
Happy
Um,
Valentine's Day.
and it's another drop coming out. So we have the Nickelodeon, the other one coming out, and it's making me wonder like how's this drop gonna go because it's the first one after this whole chaos. And I mean, we're pretty passionate on this, but there's some people that are like hardcore now saying no to NFTs. They think they're fake. They think they're a scam, or they've always thought they're a scam. And this was now their way of being like, look, see, obviously it's a scam. And like how that's going to affect this drop. I know that like wax in general fluctuates, which affects our prices on a
Yep.
lot of these redeemables that we have. But I feel like ever since this crap, like the wax has been going down, and some of these like redeemable ones that I look at, the packs that I have, legendary stuff, like even grails, have been going down in like value. And I don't know if it's because of this or what, but it's kind of annoying because it was one of those things I was super excited because I pulled something or not. And now I look at it and I'm like, one that was at like 4 something is like just over 300, and I'm like, okay, is it because the value of it just happened to go down, or is it being affected by this goddamn
I think it's a
fiasco that happened with
coincidence. I
everything?
think it's a
Yeah.
coincidence. I also think if it wasn't a Nickelodeon drop, it would affect it. I bet you this is one of the fastest sellouts. People are going to even totally forget that all the
Do
drama.
you
In
think
my
so?
opinion, I do.
It's a big set though. It's like 22,000 almost.
I think it's going to be fine. Let me rephrase that then. I think it'll be one of the biggest, quickest sellouts for one that size.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon is been one of the most popular drops in general, whether it's between the original Nickelodeon one, the Avatar one, and obviously the OG Ninja Turtles,
Mhm.
which unfortunately is part of this drama. But I think if it was like a property that was popular, but like not at the level of like what the Nickelodeon was, I do think people would, but they pretend to boycott. We've said this on the podcast before, and then they sell out immediately.
So
I
so
mean,
you don't
Yeah.
think this will have any impact on it?
on the masses, no, I don't.
I think it is.
But
Not
here's
that it's not
why.
going to sell out, but I think we're going to see it a little.
There's been pictures. This isn't the first instance of like people being pissed off at the Funko NFT world. There's been times where people saw Transformers pops and Scooby-Doo pops before they were sent to people.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, I remember
I
that.
remember
And
that.
everyone was mad about it, myself included, but I didn't stop buying them, and neither did, some people spend thousands of dollars every drop, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is pretty
we
insane.
will
That is-
see.
I barely want to spend the $100 for the 6 packs.
Yeah,
of
no.
I mean,
whatever
like,
it
I'm
is.
upset
That's been the most
about
I've
it.
ever gotten is 6. 4 to
Yeah.
6 is usually my range.
I'm
but
upset about it, but I'm not gonna let it ruin my like. Put it this way: if this happens again, I think I would be done with NFTs with Funko. But I don't think
I
it's
mean,
gonna happen
if I'm
again.
being honest, it's probably going to take a lot for you because one, that first thing happened that you just mentioned. 2, this is now another thing that has happened. 3, the way these boxes have come destroyed to people has been something that has pissed us off. 4, the amount of time they take for some of these things, and you're still going hard on these things. So maybe no matter
I see
what,
that collection in the back
nothing's
there
gonna
with
bother
the
you with these.
Nickelodeon.
No, they're fun. I don't know. I really like them. I think there's some of the. I've said this before. I mean, all joking aside, it's some of the best pops Funko's been making.
Yeah,
They're
molds.
I agree.
they're like they're creative. They're out of the box. They've hit a lot of fandoms, and like to me, it brings back the like chase of collecting. Even
Mhm.
when it had take the NFT part aside, it was we've talked about this in the past. Like you want to try to go to the store early in the morning to get the pop, or you want to make sure you get that checkout as soon as possible. Like that stuff doesn't happen anymore. I mean, I posted this on our Instagram as kind of a joke, and then immediately after Spider-Man the No Way Home pop went right back up, and I think you can still buy it on the
Mhm.
Funko
Yeah.
shop.
Yep.
Like the NFTs are the only pops where this exists, the fun of
Yeah.
like the collecting.
It really is, and it like it even it's not even about the cards anymore. Like, yeah, the cards are cool and everything,
Yeah.
but I feel like if they came out with the line, let's say, and it wasn't NFTs, and it was just basically like you got a box with like a mystery box, let's say, right, and it had 5 items in it. They weren't even cards; they were just the words. And one of those had a chance to be one that you can physically then get a pop. People would still go nuts buying those things because of the
Yes.
chase of getting that.
Yep.
It's crazy because that's basically what it turned into. And I think that the people that have not done that or tried that, or maybe they don't have that gambler mentality that some of us do, and they look at it from the outside, they only see the NFTs, and they're the ones that usually bash it. Like, why would anyone ever get these like
Yeah.
digital things? Whatever. And they just don't understand that like that's not really what it is. Like, yes, that's what it is,
Yeah.
but
and
that's
I've
not
had,
like really what it is.
and I've had to explain to a few people like, oh, they've told me like, dude, those NFTs, that's so dumb. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like to redeem a digital card into a physical pop? And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah,
No
you
one
redeem
understands that
it.
for Funko if they're not
Yeah,
a
no,
Funko fan. Yep.
they didn't understand it, so I
Makes
had to
sense.
explain it, and they're like, "Oh, now they've been buying all the packs whenever they can." So I'm like, "See, it's fun again,
Yeah.
stuff like that makes it fun."
There
Though
are so many people that gamble in this world, especially now with sports being huge. that
Dude.
mindset definitely rolls over into this world.
Yeah.
The amount
me.
of like gambling commercials during this year's Super Bowl was insane.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so
No, I
crazy how much
know,
money is being
but
thrown around
Yeah.
at gambling. But this, like, we could throw it in there because it's basically that same
That's what you're doing.
type of thing. It really is. It's the same thing with people that got addicted to mystery boxes back when mystery
Yep.
boxes were big. I feel like they're kind of like not really
Dying
too
down.
existent now, but like with obviously with the amount of people that were getting scammed by some people, but they were a big deal, and it was mostly for that reason, like just the
Yep.
rush of like, ooh, maybe I can
What
get
can
the
you get?
the
I know,
one
like,
of 500, you know.
yeah, like
it's
Boom
just so
Loot just
no,
released their mystery box or about to, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to look at it. They have really good stuff. They have NFTs and some OG Avengers, and I'm like, I can't look at it. It's like a $200. I was like, I can't
it's
look
just
at
so
it.
Oh,
funny
dude.
though. I've never like to me that I know they're kind of one and the same, but like I just feel like my odds and like the game is more fair in the NFT Funko world than it is like getting a mystery box.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe neither of you agree. I
I, I
just
I actually, what's funny is that I still love doing the NFTs, and I actually completely disagree in the sense of like, I hate that it's like a digital thing. Like, I still think in the mindset that that could just be skewed and cheated. I'm also the person that will never do online poker or online whatever because
Yeah.
I'm like, online to me can be messed with versus
but
where
on the
it's
block,
like
that's the whole point.
physically in person.
I don't want to like
But I
get
still go
into
after
like
them.
the whole
That's what I'm
like
saying.
NFT thing, but like that is the whole like point of the blockchain and why like NFTs are a thing. It is the most
Because it's secured.
secure. It's so secure and it is one of one and it is yours. There's a digital stamp that says we own it with our like accounts.
Yeah.
That's where like it isn't the same
To
as
do that.
like,
Yeah.
you know, the people who are getting scammed by like buying shit
Yeah.
on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is like I don't want everyone to like sit on the fact that like these some of these NFTs, like even though they're worth like nothing right now, they're I'm a believer like they will hold value. Like NFTs are a long game type thing. And
Mhm.
like I like to compare to think about a Funko Pop that you got in a retail store for like $8.99, and some people have ones now that are worth $1,000, and they were just commons then. That can
Mhm.
happen with this.
Yeah.
That's just my
Hopefully.
opinion. Not everyone's a believer,
No, I agree. I
but
agree with you saying.
Yeah.
But I do want to get into something else that's about this event
yeah,
because I know it kind of skewed towards more like NFT talk because obviously we're still passionate about that. But it was just something that I found absolutely disgusting, and it was the security and like safety and how much of a mess this event turned into. Because when we first saw it, so Thursday was the first day, and literally we saw like they showed the people waiting outside, and it was like in the bright in the morning, or they slept over like doing a tent, which was totally fine because that's what people used to do all the time at
yep,
like Hot Topics and all these places
Yeah.
when there was a drop coming out, and it was fine. You stood in a line, you talked to people, you were cool, whatever. They came, whether they gave you a ticket or you just went one at a time, that's the way it was. So we saw that for the first day. And for the most part, it seemed like that was a pretty seamless process. The only thing that was a little shady was like the maybe everyone wasn't only getting 2 pops kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the first day, it seemed like it was a little bit more under control. And then they, for whatever reason, decided that on the second day, they didn't allow anyone to stay and wait and get in line. And they were going to make it a free for all for what the time they opened, and anyone could just come. And for those of you that did not see, there is countless of number of videos of crazy chaos of people just plowing people down, pushing people over, jumping in line. They had, sad to say, but there were like rent-a-cop security people that like had no idea what the hell they were doing and what they got into. They just got probably handed a job like, yo, you got to go just stand.
yep.
People are going to go buy stuff, go watch the line, be a
Mhm.
line guard. And it was bananas. And these people were super disrespectful, and like it just it just was not a good look. And that's one of the things that I was like, I mean, I even said on Instagram, I was just like wondering why Funko never even like these massive companies, like, we don't expect them to be like the president of the United States coming out and saying a goddamn, speech on what happened.
Yeah.
But like, put out a goddamn stupid email letter that they do with these massive companies. Like, have one random PR person do that. Like, just do that and like try to save face, because I'm losing a lot of respect for the company overall when this kind of stuff is like happening. And I don't know if you guys like agree with me, if I'm being too like
No,
OD on it, but it's like,
I
Yeah, I definitely
100%
agree.
agree with you. Funko's not too big to send out a press release on their Instagram saying they apologize and this shouldn't have happened. I think they are scrambling on what to say because there were so many F ups during
Yeah.
this event that they don't even know what to handle, like which way to handle it, what to
Right.
tackle first, whether it is the NFTs, whether it's these exclusive pops being sold. We didn't even talk about whether it's the whole H exclusives that
yeah,
they not everyone was able to even get when they were at the con, and
yeah,
they have
people got
boxes of
multiple
them.
ones.
Yeah.
Boxes. That's insane to me. And then yeah, this was a disgrace. Seeing the videos were terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't, like, we live in a day and age where like everyone's gonna find out about all this stuff. It's like, does Funko like not think that's happening? Or they don't have a social media team now to even like put any of this stuff out. I, I don't know.
That's
It's
true.
it's
But it
it's
also makes you think like who was running this? Like, because here's the thing. Here's is the part that's like not surprising when you hear some of this, is that from what I'm always been told, I've never been to any, but every Funko event is a mess, supposedly. Even
Yeah.
the cons, right? The big NYCCs and SDCC, there's always something that logistically, or the way that it was, the line or setup, whatever it was, that just isn't clean and what you would think it should be, right? And maybe part of that is, I'm gonna say us, like everyone, not just us specifically, but like us as the collector. And there's some crazy people out there, and people go freaking
Yeah.
nuts for pieces of plastic. Like, the amount of people that, like, how crazy it is. Maybe they can't handle that, but there has to be a different, like, there has to be someone that's in charge of this and that has to speak on
Yeah.
this, because if that was the warehouse's fault, then whoever the hell is in charge of the warehouse needs to freaking man up. Or if that was like Funko, like telling them, oh, don't do a line next time, they'll let them just come in. Haha. What, I don't even know what the hell were they thinking. Like, I don't even know.
well, yeah,
Yeah, it's
that,
Like,
very
what?
weird because like I know like certain hot topics. So we've had a hot I had the hot topic here. There was an incident where a customer was mad because he couldn't get whatever pop it was and had another pop in his hand and threw it at the employee and was like talking all this mess. And so like they put out a statement like, hey, nobody should be throwing this. If we see any of this again, you're not allowed at the store, and nobody's lining up anymore until like 7 o'clock in the morning. Anybody
Yeah.
before that, you're gone. I'm like, that's insane. I was like, that's why I don't go to Hot Topic anymore and wait in line because I want no
Yeah.
pop thrown at me for no reason.
Seriously. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't.
I agree. I think it's the whoever's running that warehouse, like this falls on them. I mean, for all you know, like I'm sure he knows now, but like Brian probably didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah.
But of course he's the leader of the company. So regardless, he needs to take charge. And I mean, personally, the statement should be coming from him
Hmm.
and or Mike, but probably Brian. It would be nice to have just Mike in there in general because he adds a little,
Just a
fun
little bit
to
more
it.
fun. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I'm surprised we haven't like gotten anything. And like, at what point is it too late? If they were
Yeah.
smart, they should have done it on Sunday during the Super Bowl, and it kind of like would have gone hidden
Yeah.
in front of tons of other stuff. But they could have said they did it.
That's true. That was kind of a missed opportunity there on that. But I think we're at the point that it's like too late already. And
Yeah.
like, there's no way that they don't know about this. Or
Yeah,
like
no.
someone didn't tell them about it. Like, there has to have been, I don't know. But yeah, that I did want to touch on that part, because it was crazy to see some of these videos, and just like, definitely we've been going back and forth with a lot of this specific stuff to this event, but I would love to see or hear from, everybody else out there, like what your thoughts were on the fiasco, whether it was the NFT stuff specifically, or the chaos that was this, or like not, so touching on something real quick, kind of related to this and what you said, Charlie. So seeing people running in and or hurrying about like them doing like massive amount of things in a bunch of bags and whatever. So supposedly that like report and whatever's been coming out about that, I was reading like a lot of people and were commenting that supposedly there's like a group that is kind of known to do this, and they've done it in like cons and things like that. And a lot of I don't want to say the names of the companies, but a lot of them have been tied to certain reselling companies, pretty big companies. And it'll be interesting to see if these companies put out, mystery boxes or certain runs and drops that have some of these pops included, because it'll be pretty obvious that that's what it was. But yeah, supposedly it's like a tag team effort that they do this insane thing where they like block people off and, toss things in a bag. And then
So messed up.
It's so crazy. It's like the fact that it's just baffling that like it gets to that point. Like it's that serious to them. Like, bro,
Yeah.
it's not like, it's crazy. I don't know,
It's
but
not.
I don't know if anything else you guys want to talk about specifically to that event or anything, but
I know they actually called the actual cops out there. Other
oh
than like
yeah, that
they
too.
had the actual cops. I was like, oh wow, that's
I'm sure it got rowdy in the lines. Like, and
yeah.
even not like I'm being honest, like besides the security and whoever was running the warehouse and the line or whatever, like beyond them, I'm sure people in general, because we know how this goddamn world is now, there was probably some ridiculous people fighting each other. And like,
Yep.
well,
Probably.
we've seen it for years when it comes to like, Black Friday sales and like trying to
Yep.
get like an exclusive thing. Like people will
Sneakers.
people go crazy, fight.
Mm-hmm.
People have been killed in some of these like
I know that
events and
video made
things.
me like, as much as like I wanted to go there, like been like, all
No,
set not being there.
yeah,
It's not
because you just
worth it.
don't know. You don't know who you're going to be around or whatever. And it's
And I
sad,
can
Exactly.
only
but
imagine though if those NFT pops were on the shelf and someone saw them,
yeah,
I actually think a fight would have broke loose for those, if I'm being honest.
it would have been
Because
even
nothing
crazier.
in there was flip worthy like those were.
Except for that gold Geico.
Oh, let's talk about that actually, Trey. I'm happy you brought that up
Oh
because
yeah,
I
and some
forgot
of the
about
Hall
that.
H stuff too, no? Or was
Yeah.
that also gone the
But I think the
before?
Demogorgon
Yep.
was one of them, but that
Freddie,
somebody
the
found
Freddie Funko from Hall H was one of them. But yeah, the Geico ones, for everyone who's not familiar with that, around Halloween time, Geico and Funko partnered and just legitimately did a promotion where you went on a website, you plugged in your email, and you had like, there was a course of 3
It
weeks.
was like a giveaway
It was a
essentially, right?
giveaway. It was
Mhm.
completely free. You didn't have to pay for anything. I actually won 2 of them, which is
Oh, nice.
pretty cool. But funny thing about it is the only one I didn't get besides the gold one that is 100 pieces, which we'll obviously get to, was the orange one. And I saw people in some of my groups be like, mine came completely damaged. They emailed Funko and they're like, so sorry, like there's no more of these. And like it wasn't like someone being anal about a box damage. Like this person was legitimately crushed by the post office. They're at the sale. And then like Trae said, the grand prize, 100 limited piece, and the sticker says it, of the gold Geico, someone got at this sale. That's a joke.
insane.
I'm so happy you brought that up because I would have forgot about that.
Yeah,
That
I
is
did
a
forget.
joke.
That
I'm
is
like
insane.
angry now. If this wasn't like a family friendly podcast, I would have totally got way crazier than this. But it's not cool. And I know they're just trying to make a buck, especially they definitely want to write all this stuff off before they, file their taxes. I mean, let's be real. That's why they had this, in my opinion, why they had this sale. It's a good, easy way for them to just get rid of what they thought was trash. But a lot of stuff to the community wasn't trash. It's insulting to actually, I'm going to go on my rant real quick, to the fans, to us right now, everyone who's listening to this. Like, quite frankly, some of those you could have put up and been like, surprise, like, I don't want to know what we want to call it, but we found some Hall H pops, like, here's a queue, let's sell them. I'd
Mhm.
actually be okay with that if they were transparent. you know what, this is how we found them, and and it's when you buy it through Funko, it's not like they're gonna like screw you over either. They sell it for what they were selling it for at this sale or even retail price. Like that's like the whole other thing that just is driving me insane.
They
about
could have
this.
also done what was it? I think it was last year or the year before where they did the hidden gems and it was really nothing.
That's what it was.
You couldn't have said that better because the hidden gems was a joke. I remember the whole community was like, "Oh my god, what are they gonna have?" That is
Exactly.
perfect.
They
I'm
should
so
have
happy you
did
brought that
something
up.
like that though.
Dude, what's hilarious is like that's literally what it should have been, and what Hidden Gems was the
Exactly. That
trashiest
would have
of
been
trash.
perfect. That would have been perfect. Or like the mystery boxes that they did for whatever, like
Yeah, exactly that
Oh
mystery
my
box
god, yeah,
with
the Christmas
some of these
mystery
random
boxes.
things,
That's
yes,
the trash that
which were
should have been
also
at.
trash.
That is
that
what
should
should have
have
been at
been
this
at
warehouse sale.
Buckeye. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. See?
But
I need to go work for
but then in the
Funko.
opposite, the stuff that was there and the good stuff is what should have been part of these boxes or these
Hidden
freaking events
gems.
that they did online. Hidden Gems.
Which the
I
people in
forgot about Hidden
Europe,
Gems.
their mystery boxes for Christmas were fire.
Yeah.
People
But
were getting.
but Europe's Funko
No,
shop
I
still
know.
has pops that we don't even have. Like it's insane.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're gonna just keep going back and forth on this. I don't know if you saw some pictures of some of the pops because, not pictures. I was watching. It's kind of funny because now YouTube's feeding me all these like random collectors that I've never seen. They have like 200 subscribers or very small brand new pages just because they went there.
Yes.
And it's like
Yep.
their haul like of going there, right? And I'm just like, all right, let me just check them out. And they're pretty much the same. And it's just like a basic like them showing what was on the tables and stuff. Bro, I can't remember the exact pop, but there was because most of the tables were like regular plastic tables, and they would have like a mound of whatever that one pop was.
Yeah.
There was a set of this one specific pop that had these special edition silver international stickers on it. So like it's like those pops either are coming from here and being shipped over there, or like they got a bunch of extra ones that were supposed to be sold in Europe or whatever, and like they have them. Yeah, I don't know if you didn't see that because and it wasn't the new special edition, like that new one that's coming out now. It was the old school one, and I was thinking, I'm like, that's a freaking international pop or exclusive to whatever it was supposed to be exclusive to. That was in the U.S. being sold at that warehouse, which was also kind of weird. It was definitely interesting.
Yeah, I started noticing that too on YouTube. I was like, who's this? And then I go to their page.
2,000 views, and they have like no 2,000
subscribers.
views, I'm like,
and like 100 subscribers, and I'm like, and they only have one video.
Yeah.
Or they have 2 videos, 3 videos, and I'm like,
and it's like Buckeye.
I mean,
Buckeye.
come on. Maybe YouTube will feed this to people, and we'll get a.
Want that Buckeye?
Or just we're
putting Buckeye everything all over this title. But all right, so we can stop with the Buckeye. We've done a lot of Buckeye talk.
We've covered it all. Move on to greener pastures.
Yeah. So not so greener. Let's go back to some brown pastures. But we have Funko. I got to keep it going. So Funko. Oh God. So they mess up again with something else that I am super annoyed by, and we've talked about this in another episode. I think we had a full episode about this, and it had to do with restocks, but it had to do specifically the fact that they're still restocking vaulted, if you're watching, vaulted Funko Pops. And so we got the flocked Remy that was a pop that was supposed to be vaulted. Clearly it's not. And it really just makes me think, and I think we might have mentioned this back when we talked about the whole restock thing, but like I think we both said that we think the vaulting thing is kind of crap, and like they're just gonna probably continue to do this. And I don't know if it's that they're really reproducing these pops or if they just have stuff sitting around. And I used to always like laugh at when Charlie would be like, oh, they have these extra pops sticking around and they put them on there, because I would always be like, no, why would they ever do that? But they clearly just have shit laying around. We're seeing it constantly. So clearly these must be pops that are laying around. Hopefully they're not redoing them, because if they're redoing them, that's even more messed up, because now they're putting more time and money into that rather than new shit that we should be getting. But like, what do you think about this crap? Like these, like it's just ridiculous now at this point. I don't think vaulted means anything at this point.
No, I don't think vaulted means anything. Trey, you go.
Yeah, I just saw that too. I was like, I know there was like another one too that I was like, this is vaulted, but why are people able to pre-order it or buy it? You know,
Yeah,
with the brand
pre-order,
new
even
bottoms.
better.
Go on Entertainment
Pre-order,
Earth, you could pre-order every vaulted
And I'm
box.
like,
Go
pre-order.
search it.
yeah, I'm just like, that's insane. Like that.
That was
I
like
don't even know.
the what's that place that no longer sells pops now?
Oh
Pop
yeah,
in a
some
box.
pop in a
Pop in a box
box.
when they had that little like
Yeah,
drop of vaulted
yeah.
stuff,
It's
grails.
it's
I don't know. Yeah, the
crazy.
whole vaulted thing's a joke. I don't but Funko could just. We talked about it, like you said on this last episode. That when we talked about it, like there's so many ways they can get around this, and it'd be cool for everyone. Collectors, quote unquote, toys for little kids now, if that's where they want to go, which I'm cool with. It's just like make a new Remy mold and just make it a mass produced common forever if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Why are
Yeah.
you putting it out in the same like, and now it's just like it didn't. That's why I feel like box collectors is going to become even more of a thing in the future. You just, make sure on the bottom, I know people still do it now, but like, it's like now they're smacking that like, like
Mm-hmm.
scan me. And like, that's how you like, no, you
No, it's
don't
a newer
have
one.
like an OG one.
Mm-hmm.
They've
Hmm.
even done that for like lines that I remember I had ordered a pop from, I think it was like the WandaVision line, and some of them had the original boxes, and then the other ones had like the scan me ones on it when they
Yeah.
both came out at the same time. Um, I can just go on a rampage on
That
this
that
too,
that's
like a
like
rant.
the anti-venom that got restocked overseas
Yep.
from Box Lunch.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I have the original from Box Lunch, has the Box Lunch sticker like Hot Topic, but then now the new ones have the scan me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking too, like in the future, it's like, oh, you want the OG, the original drop, opposed to the newer box with the
Yeah,
scan me.
it's kind of like the Star Wars ones when they went from
Yep.
blue and
Yeah.
black, and the boxes kept changing, and it was like if you had the old one, it was technically better or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had to. That was the last
No, I'm
negative.
happy
No,
you
you
brought
got
that
something
up.
else? Because that was the last
So
negative
this is
thing I
the
wanted
last
to
thing.
kind
I
of
think that is the last negative one.
yeah.
I
We'll
think
get
we've
we'll
done enough.
Yeah, we'll get into so we'll rapid fire a couple just random like pop sodas things that were announced that we're a little bit excited for. Not too many. I only have like a handful that we can probably talk about. And then I did want to end the episode with us talking about at least two of the major movie trailers that dropped yesterday at the Super Bowl, which are in our realm of
Yeah,
nerdverse.
and people have been asking for it.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But just quickly, just because we do want to get a little bit of news of drops and stuff, I did want to talk about this because obviously it's a pretty sweet thing. It's the Freddy Funko 3-liter.
Oh
So we
yeah.
did see some photos of that, which is funny because it kind of goes against what me and Charlie were like originally always bashing into everyone's head that the Funko sodas, 3-liter sodas should always be these massive things. And the last one that we just got announced was Groot, and we both freaking hated it because like Groot made no sense. And now we're getting a Freddy, which clearly Freddy is just a normal,
He's
whatever.
larger
Yeah.
than life.
But yes, he is. He's the mask guy. He's the big one, and I think it's a cool thing. I mean, Freddy. Any way they make Freddy usually is even when they overdo it sometimes with these black lights and these different things. People don't usually complain because it still is Freddy, so it's still
Yeah.
kind of okay and justified. But pretty cool that we're getting that.
I agree, and I truly believe when that goes up on the Funko shop, it'll sell out and it will never come back.
Yeah. I agree.
I would hope so.
What's the
I
limit?
like
Did they say the piece count?
the picture was so blurred because
Yeah,
it's
not
like
sure.
not an
I could see it being
official.
like a 5,000 maybe.
Yeah,
That's
I
what.
think it'll be like you're gonna have to get that when it comes on.
I'll probably have to. Yeah, definitely.
But I'm super pumped about that one. Another one that I'm super pumped about, which I like when Funko does this. I've said it before. Is we got a new Clone Wars one. I know it's like out of nowhere, but like they continuously are adding to the line, and the Clone Wars line isn't huge. And we got Obi-Wan Kenobi in Mandalorian armor. It's a
Yeah.
sick arc in the show. The pop is straight up fire. I actually I traditionally don't pre-order
Did you
stuff from.
pre-order
I
that
did.
again?
Like
Yeah.
I need this. I need this one, and I
You're
don't want
becoming
it.
an Entertainment Earth guy now, huh?
No,
Just
no, no,
pre-ordering
no, no,
everything.
no. I need. I like they come out with good Star Wars ones. I hate
Yeah.
that they get like good exclusives, but like
That
it's
shipping.
funny. you never know with them. Like sometimes they, even though I just made a joke, they're like restocking like, old vaulted pops. They say you can get them, but like that's Funko telling them they can do that. It's not like them.
Yeah.
Sometimes their exclusives don't ever come back, and I don't want this one to be the case. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be easy to get, but I wanted it.
Yeah. It does look cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
You got anything, Trey? That was
Anything, Trae?
The only other thing that I saw that was not cool looking was the Gabriel Iglesias,
oh.
but
Yeah.
Oh my
nothing else
God.
really that was like, oh man, I need.
I can't believe they're still doing that
Wait.
with these guys.
We need to go back. We got to rewind a little. Unreleased fluffy pops were also found at the
Oh, there
warehouse sale.
was
Really?
unreleased.
Unreleased. Some of them, people are like, are these coming out? Because also you can get Target Con stuff there as well that hasn't even come out. I can't.
Wow.
I'm so happy you brought that up. That's like insane. That's another insanity. Unreleased Funko Pops. But yeah, I mean, it's at this point like we don't really need any more fluffies. We've
Yeah.
said that a million times. But
Yeah,
like
bro.
unreleased ones now, this stuff's
That's
insane.
well, I know we were talking about special edition stickers. Funko just released that Demon Slayer pop, the one that just came out last week.
Mhm.
It restocked again, but with the new special edition sticker instead of the Funko shop.
But on Funko, that's weird.
Yeah. Like
That's
4
supposed to be like
hours
the
ago.
international one. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they're a mess.
They are.
Yeah, it's been nuts.
They don't care about stickers.
I did, yeah. I did want to mention this soda because I thought when I first saw that it was going to be coming out, I was like, that's a pretty cool character to have. And then when I saw the actual molds and the chase, it was awesome. The Creature of the Black Lagoon,
Oh yeah.
very cool looking.
Okay,
Big,
yeah.
big fan of those style. Obviously, those horror style ones. I've always said there's plenty more that they need to make. They still don't make a ghost face. I need to figure that out. Yeah, that's yeah, Michael Myers, Freddy. Like, come on.
Oh, that's right.
Those would be amazing. But yeah, so super cool one.
The
There was some
Bigfoot, the black light
the Bigfoot, yeah, which was HQ, which was that one actually, like, a lot of people were really hyped about that. Like, it got like a lot of good right away. I was kind of like, black light pop, and the Bigfoot pops like are pretty popular, even though it's the exact same damn mold
some of
pop,
them are the
but
same. Yeah.
yeah, they just make like a
Same
different
walking
color or
or
whatever
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
I like
But it was
it.
cool. And it was cool that it was an HQ thing. Like, I don't mind when it's like that type of an exclusive thing where it's
Me
like
either.
it's not easy to get because it's, exclusive to the headquarters. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We got more Disney 100 movie posters.
Some movie posters.
I mean, these are sick, but this is getting out of hand.
They're making every single one now.
Every single one. Yeah. I mean, like we got Alice in Wonderland, we got Dumbo. They look sick. Once again, they're using like new molds, but like I'm shocked that they went this route. I kind of wish they went the VHS cover style. Maybe they never should have called that VHS. It should have just been movie poster. And like we could have come up with another name, but regardless, they're cool. And the Disney 100 line continues to grow. We didn't miss a week. So
yeah, you know what? You just said this, and I just thought about it. It probably would be dumb, but I feel like instead of the VHS being in that, like, the box looking like the albums or whatever it is, like, they should have made it a VHS
and open
like
like
the box, and you
cover.
open it and has the pop in it. Like,
100% agree.
like, don't call it VHS if that's what it was, But
I mean, we should be like, we could be creative for Funko. I mean, everyone's like losing their
bro. The amount of stuff we've created on this podcast that would have been amazing,
so cool.
All right, so enough about Funko. How about that? Let's get into
Wait,
something.
we got to talk about one more. I teased it earlier on before, but for everyone who didn't know, the Funko Gold. I just want to talk about that. Like, if you didn't see it, the Funko Gold, the special limited edition. Did you understand my joke before?
Which limited edition?
Dude, they came out with a box set number.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was Funko Gold. Okay. Yeah.
I actually,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry, but all joking aside, like, that was something that like I have been wanting Funko to do for like ever, like something along those lines. I thought it was awesome.
Like a set type of thing like that?
Or just like that it was. I know they've made some pops like for the Super Bowl when there's been the champions. Like, I don't see why after every major sporting event, if we have the license, we can't get something that says like they're the champions. And I think this box set is cool. It was a good way for them to push the Funko Gold line. It's awesome that it's limited, and I just thought it was just a super sick idea. Didn't really leak, and we found out about it like right after the game.
Yeah,
Right.
which was actually kind of cool that it was like out of nowhere. And for those of you that didn't know, if you're listening, obviously, if you're not watching, you can't see it, but it was basically like a box set, which was super nice, Super Bowl logo and everything all over it. And you opened it up, and it inside was basically like the 4 Funko Gold Chiefs. So I think it was like Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey,
Kelsey, I don't even
this
remember.
the defensive guy was Chris Jones, which is
I don't know the other dude.
John Jones's brother. Yeah, the other guy I think was a lineman or something. So it was like the 4 of them. Pretty cool because it was like a set, it was exclusive, it said Super Bowl champions. This was part of why we were joking before about the Eagles one being put up at the warehouse, because clearly they had to make both of these, because
Yeah.
it wasn't like a rendered little cartoon picture, it was the
No.
actual, like,
Yeah.
you saw what it looked like. So they do this all the time with Super Bowl, like t-shirts and hats and
Yeah.
everything. They make all of them,
They
obviously, and
send
then
them to third world countries.
they get rid of they get rid of all the losing team.
Do you think it
But
would have
yeah,
sold out if they were pops instead of the gold? Because I don't think it sold out. I think it's still there.
It would have had a much better
yeah,
chance. I
it
think they
would
did
have
gold
been.
on purpose to try to like gauge it. I think
Yeah.
this could be the death of gold. If this, I mean, we've talked about it before, but like,
Yeah.
if people don't want, like, okay, if I was a Chiefs fan, I would buy that.
Right.
Yeah,
I'd,
yeah, of course.
I'd have to have it. And the fact that, I mean, the Chiefs, regardless of being, the Super Bowl champions, they are a popular team anyway in their own right. I'm sure like their stuff sells in general for Funko. If this no one wants this, I know it's a high price point, but it's a limited piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a
Maybe in
nice like
time.
box.
It's a long hold, if anything, but to the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also could be because it was kind of out of nowhere. Like it wasn't marketed like to sell, so like people might not even know it
No,
exists yet.
yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
so it's still kind of like new to to everyone, because it's never happened before. They've never done this style or this type of thing. So it's like literally, it's not like you were expecting it. Like now that we got this, we almost expect it for the NBA champions, or we almost
Yeah.
expect it for
Yeah.
because now it's like exists. But who knows?
I just wanted to say that.
No, yeah, good thing you said that. I almost forgot. And when you said that, this is a good way of Funko to push the gold. I thought they were gonna say like push them to out of the goddamn website, so they stopped making them. All right, let's get away from Funko. I'm getting too heated. Let's talk about the last thing we want to talk about. So this is kind of some movie talk. We've wanted to do this kind of thing, but this I felt like was a perfect opportunity because it's just kind of more of like a reaction to, obviously, the Super Bowl was yesterday. There was some trailers that dropped. Like I said, 2 really big ones for us because we've talked about them somewhat in the past. One being DC, one being Marvel, so it's kind of funny. But I wanted to kind of just have us give our thoughts on like what we thought about the trailer, what we think about the movies, how they're going to be. Of course, one being the Flash, and then we could do the Guardians as well, and just give you our thoughts, because we have had people chime in and comment saying they want us to talk about movies and things like that. So kind of be our way into that. But we could start out. Trae, you could start off if you want.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the Flash. Start off with the Flash one. So those of you, obviously, we know the Flash movie and all the controversy and everything that went
Yeah.
around that. But it's coming. It's here.
Yeah.
And
I
we
thought
got
it
that
looked.
trailer.
I thought it looked really. I'm not. Y'all know that I'm not a big
Yeah.
DC fan, but I thought it looks good. Like to the point where I kind of want to go watch it because of Michael Keaton and the whole the whole thing going on with the different Batmans. Like just the trailer actually made me want to watch it. I've never been so hyped for a DC movie in a very long time.
Dude.
Nice.
I mean, I'm gonna go off of that. I thought this trailer was incredible. I thought it was one of the best trailers I've seen for a movie in a long time. I obviously am a DC fan, but I will normally say in the movie world, Marvel has totally destroyed them. And I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but the Flash trailer made that trailer be like Not that I didn't like it, but I'm not talking about that. Like I watched the Flash trailer on like so many times, it's not even funny. And
Yeah.
the word on the street has been that this movie is amazing. It is like one of the greatest comic movies of all time, which is like that is a really big statement. But after this trailer, it very well could be. And we could
Yeah.
talk about I want your thoughts too, Migs, but like the fact that this was so good just causes total other issues with me, and I can go on a rampage. But
So, so all right. So my initial thoughts were, yeah, same as you guys. I thought it was amazing. I was actually really hyped, really excited. I Same thing where early before the trailer came out, I was hearing the same rumbles that like, oh, this is amazing. It's getting like great reviews already. All the critics are loving it. But then I was also still hearing like people like, oh no, there's no way. That's kind of just like their way of like trying to hype it up because DC has been so bad and blah blah blah. And like I'm kind of siding with them, and I'm like, so what the hell's gonna happen? Then the trailer came out, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm excited, but I was already excited. I was still like kind of
me too.
neutral. I was still like neutral. I love the Flash. Like Flash is one of my favorite DC. Like I'm a pretty big DC fan. So like Trae said, he's not. We all know he's more of a Marvel guy when it comes to that. But me and Charlie are pretty big DC fans. Batman and that universe has always been my thing. Joker, whatever. But Flash has always been like kind of like one of my favorite secondary side person. I loved the show, The Flash. The Grant Gustin one, I think, was like amazing. I think it was like a perfect kind of
Yeah.
Flash. I hated when Ezra Miller first came out as a Flash and the Justice League and stuff, and I just thought like he was awful. So I wasn't excited about that part of it. But the story I thought was still going to be cool. The fact that we were going to get Batman, we already knew the rumors that we were going to get Michael Keaton anyways. And then it was like Ben Affleck was in it, and then he wasn't in it, and now he's in it. So it's like it's been so crazy with this thing. And then for a minute, we didn't even think the movie was going to get made because, of course, Ezra Miller is
Yeah.
a freaking terrible person. but but it's now to the point that I'm like excited that it is going to be made because one of two things. One, it looks like it's going to be super sick, jam packed with stuff. And it is resetting this universe that we're getting now, where James Gunn has now taken over. It's kind of funny. James Gunn's, we're talking about Guardians. We're
Yeah.
talking about
He's
so
like tweeting about like
yeah.
DC, and then he's tweeting about
So
Marvel.
so it's so funny because Charlie was kind of laughing and hinting towards something, but I'll put it out there. Charlie hates James Gunn. So so he loves Guardians, but he hates James Gunn. And I've been trying to get him to be like, dude, James Gunn's gonna figure something out. He's doing this whole DC thing. He's not Feige. He's not gonna be. But I would have faith that like at least we'll get something cohesive. Yeah. Like whether it's not done perfectly or amazing, we'll be excited because now we have like a world of DC that we could be like, oh, this is cool, rather than just being like, that one movie of DC was cool, but this other random movie that has nothing to do with it wasn't, or this one, And that was always what I hated about the DC world of movies. But specifically to this, I think there's still more to this movie that we're not getting, and that's why I'm even more excited because we now got new characters that we finally are getting revealed. The only part, and I hated it since the beginning, is that I hate that Ezra Miller is all the versions of the Flash. Because if basically he's supposed to be like different Flashes, because he's doing all these things, they could have gotten, especially, I don't know, maybe they,
money.
Yeah, of course, but like,
I mean,
it's just
I
like
agree
it was
with
almost
you.
like too obvious that was like, why would you do? And they didn't have to get Grant like a past actual, Flash that was
They
on
should have, because
TV.
he would have came cheap.
Oh, 100. They should have definitely done that. But I'm saying they could have even done just random people, whatever, and it still would have been okay. That's the only thing that I'm kind of like, yeah, about. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. And I think, Michael Keaton coming back obviously was great. We saw a pretty awesome scene of him in this trailer, which made you get more excited that he's going to be pretty badass. Mm-hmm. Seeing Ben's version and stuff, which I know Charlie loves his version. I've kind of been impartial, kind of back and forth on how good his version is, but seeing this, I'm like, okay, that's pretty badass. I think his version is going to be great. There's rumors that there's other Batmen potentially in this that weren't at least in the trailer, so it's exciting for sure. It's just interesting to see what's going to happen and where this is going to go. especially with Ezra Miller, because I don't know if you obviously, Charlie, you followed Den of Nerds, right?
Yeah.
And he like had posted a video on his live, and basically like after he watched the trailer, he was kind of like justifying the stuff that Ezra Miller did just because he thought the trailer looked so good. It was hilarious.
It's just funny because like I'm a huge Den of Nerds like Josh fan. And like I did watch that video, and one thing like I felt like was a lot like me, like not excited for this. Totally was like, what's the point? James Gunn sucks type whole thing. But here's why James Gunn does still suck, because we all just said Michael Keaton was badass. Michael Keaton was supposed to be in more movies, and he's now done.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing. Like that bothers me. The Supergirl looked awesome. She's done.
Yeah, they're not using her
Like
anymore
they're
either.
not even gonna give her another chance. Like it's just so weird. This movie couldn't have worked out more perfectly for James Gunn though, because he is just gonna legitimately say this is resetting it. And I'm assuming, like I don't know this, it's just my prediction. The movie's gonna kind of end where Ezra Miller's Flash, now has the opportunity to go to any world he wants, and he's gonna like stay back in a world now that like kind of doesn't matter. And now we have the new DC like reboot.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel bad saying this because, like, I know they are a terrible person, but I thought Ezra Miller he was acting like pretty amazing in this trailer. Like, unpopular take is I actually really liked him before, or
I don't
liked
like.
them before. Um,
I never really did. The only thing that was interesting though is like you said, is his little pieces in this. What that part was pretty cool. That now like in the Justice League, hated like literally.
Yeah.
I don't know. The acting to me was not like
it didn't work,
it
but
just
we're
it
also,
was weird. But
but the
like maybe
problem
the acting
is,
works now with this.
yeah, but I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan, but like I don't think Zack Snyder's material was doing them any favors.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do kind of have the same issues with you, which I don't know if I've said this on the last podcast when we talked about the pops or we just talked about it together. It does make no sense that they had Ezra Miller play all the versions
Yeah.
when every other version of the other people in this movie look different.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's why I was like, what? Like, what are they doing?
because
But
he's playing more people than we even saw in this trailer.
yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of flashes or whatever you want to call them, berries or whatever. But yeah, it's exciting. I think it's gonna be cool. It's definitely something that I will go to watch for sure. Pure fact, just because I think it will be a good movie, and then I'm excited to see the Batman and what they're gonna do, and if there's gonna be more, because obviously there's more rumors to that
I
part
think
as
this
well.
movie's gonna do so well that Warner Brothers isn't gonna know what to do with themselves. It's not gonna be a smooth transition as you think, which is just crazy in general.
So it's interesting that it's like that type of movie that like is potentially going to be great, and it's like ending a lot of these characters and a lot of these
Yep.
people. Like it's so weird that's like usually this would be the movie that would catapult
Correct,
them
which is what it was
going into
supposed
whatever.
to do.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to end. I mean, because you guys know, like, I mean, I read a lot of stuff. It was supposed to end with Ezra Miller's Flash, like, creating a new universe with these new people. So, like, Supergirl essentially was going to be the Superman of the universe we were going to watch on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton was going to be the Batman that we were going to see. And I'm pretty sure James Gunn has nixed all that, and the ending is changing.
Yeah. To be whatever his world's gonna be, which
Yeah,
Charlie
just
is
like
Charlie is so excited about what James Gunn's world is gonna be in DC. Can't
James
tell.
Gunn should not be making Superman. And first off, I love, like I said, and we'll talk about Guardians. Like he is made for Guardians, and a lot of the characters that he has announced in his slate that he's making are good for his sensibilities. I would love for him to prove me wrong, but there's just no way, in my opinion, he's gonna write and direct a Superman movie that is like legit.
It is weird that he's doing Superman. I don't think it's weird that he's going to be doing DC. Well, I mean, him even overseeing DC or whatever he's going to be doing is like it's whatever. But like him putting his hands into something and directing and writing something, I completely agree. Where it's like Guardians is like hilarious, and it's like look at Suicide Squad. Like those things are like out there. Superman is, you can't really do that with Superman. Superman
Yeah,
is
no.
freaking Superman. He's
Yeah.
clean cut and he's whatever. And like, granted, doesn't mean he can't do that. We don't know. He
We
could
don't
probably
know.
pull that off, but it is something that you wouldn't think he would be good at or be able to pull off. So I get the being hesitant on it. I'm just excited that there's a change and there's something at least somewhat coming together. Like the fact that he was able to come out and then give that little timeline and like, hey, look, this is going to come out. We're going to come out with this, whether you knew the characters or you didn't or whatever. Like, it was just cool that at least they had that vision where it was never that. We basically either got like one director that was put onto a character and he came out with a trilogy, like Christopher Nolan did with Dark Knight, and we loved it. Or there was, Zack Snyder and his thing. And that, like, it just never was, nothing was ever like all one piece, which was, it was mostly because they didn't have a Kevin Feige who, basically had his hands and everything.
Now they just want James to give away the Marvel secrets.
I mean, it is weird that he was in Marvel too. That's another, like, I think that's even what's weirder is that he crossed over to, like, it's like, that's interesting. And Guardians still is going.
Remember he got fired. Do you remember he got fired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What didn't he get, like, canceled essentially?
Yeah, he got canceled because he's a pedophile. He's many things.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
But he did that a long time ago. People change, but the actors, I think, basically demanded he come back, and
I suppose they loved him.
I don't think Kevin Feige at the time really wanted him to be fired. It was kind of like a judgment call that they just made because that's what you feel like you had to do.
Yeah. I mean,
he was
making good movies. Yeah, he was. I mean, you can't deny that, like, the Guardians was a big deal to this Marvel
if you
universe.
watch his earlier stuff, I mean, he just had that was his sense of humor. I mean, I can take a joke and it doesn't bother me. Like once again, we're joking right now, my distaste for James Gunn, but it actually wasn't only till recently, because I think it's ridiculous that he is canceling basically all the other characters that have come before him, but besides the ones he's made. A true leader who's saying they're starting over would start over, not just keep what they made, especially his wife.
But come on, he's loyal, bro. He's loyal to his friends and his wife. You can't.
You bring them in as different characters. I told you that. That's what I would do, which is what he's doing to Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he wants to bring him in as a whole. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. We can have a whole James Gunn episode.
We could,
going in on him.
But James Gunn likes Funko Pops. I do know that.
Nice.
He has a Funko Pop too.
I used to really want that one. No.
You never know, dude. Christmas is coming.
I didn't even know he had one. I didn't realize. All right, let's transition over then to Guardians that we're talking about. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, what's this, Volume 3?
Yep.
Trailer came out, and this one I'm a little indifferent on. I'm definitely not as excited as I was for the Flash one, let's say, right? Still excited. I love the Guardians for the most part, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to say like over that whole crew, but I'm kind of am. I feel like when like the wave of the Avengers and everything, and we lost a lot of the OG characters and whatever, like, to me, I kind of tied them with that. Like, I kind of wish we had this. Is this the last one though? I don't think they're supposed to do more.
It's
right?
The last one with this crew.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why maybe I guess I'm kind of like, already thought they would be, okay, we're good without them type of thing. But I still love their movies, and I think it's going to be a good one. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? I wasn't like blown away by the trailer though, honestly.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't either.
Trey?
Honestly, I haven't been really excited for any Marvel movie. Well, obviously, except for Black Panther. But before that, there's not really. It's not exciting anymore, especially after Endgame. That's where I'm like, But after watching it, I feel like there's a lot going on. But I'll probably still go watch it. But I haven't been excited for a Guardian since like the first one. The second one I wasn't too excited for, and this one I'm just like, I'll go watch it, but I don't know.
See, I'm the opposite where like Guardians is actually one of my favorite franchises. So it's funny that like I am ripping James Gunn. And I would say this is probably one of my most highly anticipated Marvel movies. I hated that it's taken this long to come out because James Gunn had to make Suicide Squad,
Mhm.
which is why it's taken so long. So that's why it feels a little weird that we're finally getting it. But I thought the trailer was I liked the trailer, but I think they're holding back for some reason. I think it's a
They always
heavily
have. Yeah.
spoiler-ish type storyline, and they can only show so much. I think when it comes out, it's gonna hit. I think it's gonna be better than the second one. The first one's still the best. I also think
Mhm.
it's gonna be pretty emotional. I think what's gonna happen, kind of in a way of like Endgame per se, we're gonna lose some of the Guardians, but some of them will live on, and we'll get a new team. But I think we may have some still. Like I don't think Chris Pratt's going anywhere.
Okay.
For
I was gonna
example.
ask. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. You kind of got that like feeling of the emotion and that it's gonna be probably something that is, we are gonna lose some people type of thing, whatever. So I could see that happening. But I guess like Ant-Man, for instance, right? Like I'm very excited for Ant-Man. So I'm gonna try to see that this weekend. And when that trailer came out, like I was hyped. Like I feel like even if they didn't show too much, and then they actually ended up showing that other trailer that came out with stuff, and you were like, "Oh wow, I'm surprised they actually showed some of this stuff." It still got me, I guess, a little bit more excited. But maybe there is a really big thing that we're kind of like waiting for with Guardians, and that's why they didn't go with that route. So could be when is that supposed to come out? When is
May.
Guardians?
May
Okay,
5th, I
so it's
believe.
not that far though. So
No.
yeah, so I'm sure we'll get probably another really big trailer closer to it. I would assume, but yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'll watch it. I watch all of them all the time. Like I said, obviously I love the first one. I like the second one as well. And I've always liked their parts in any of the Avengers movies that they happen to be popping in out of. Um, I'm just not like, I don't know. I'm kind of like waiting to get like super hyped about it, I
Yeah.
guess. I
Yeah.
guess because I like the movies and I didn't love them like I was obviously like you're a really, really big fan of them. I've always kind of just been like, oh, they're good. Like I never had anything
To
bad to say
me,
about them.
they were like when the first one came out, I was like, this is like the Star Wars of Marvel. Like I liked
Mm,
that it brought to the cosmic. I mean, thinking back with the original one and where James Gunn was brilliant with these characters. I mean, he took something that like not even the biggest of Marvel fans even knew who they were. And they are like Groot is one of the most popular Marvel characters ever now.
Yeah.
that's
So
true.
I've always really respected like him for that, which I think he has done a good job with. I thought the casting in that movie was always great. Um, I am tired of Dave Bautista though, I'm not gonna lie. And he needs to stop running his mouth.
I
He
was gonna
runs
say I thought he
Drax's
was
mouth.
actually one of the better ones usually.
Drax is great, but I mean, this isn't really a spoiler if you see anything. Like, he's basically been interviewing for his new M. Night Shyamalan movie, which he's
Yeah,
in,
Mhm.
and it's basically like, yeah, I'm done with Guardians.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or I'm done
AKA
with
yeah.
he's
So
Marvel. Yeah.
he's
he's
obviously going
dying.
to be one of the ones that's
Well,
going.
isn't he going to DC? Is he going to play
I
a
mean,
DC
that's what
character?
he's
He wants to.
I mean, without James Gunn, like, dude, he's a nobody. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
Well,
he
he was a
he won't be
wrestler.
without James Gunn, bro. He's going over to DC. James Gunn's going to make him his Bane or whatever he said.
Yeah.
dude,
Or he
he
can
said he's not doing that.
Yeah,
or he can show up in the new Fast and the Furious movie.
he might. Yeah,
Don't
like
even get me
another
started with
great
that.
DC guy.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Fast 10.
You know, man, Vin Diesel, man, he's Groot.
I don't know, man. They're going back to the.
That's true.
That is true.
He's got a connection, bro. He's got a connection.
Yeah. They're
Oh
going
man,
back to their
The
roots.
all
Fast
these guys
movies
are
are
connected.
ridiculous now. They're ridiculous.
Well,
These guys are
this
connected.
one doesn't look as bad as the last one. And they're saying that they're going back to their roots, like the
yeah, they're
original.
telling you that because they want to make people like yourself.
Because this is the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
10 is
supposed
the
to
It's
be
end.
not.
the
There's
and then there
one
was a
more
clip.
after it.
Well,
There
then
is?
there was a clip of Paul in the video, in the trailer.
He's 100% in the movie. They definitely are doing what like
I'm just kind
Disney
of.
has done for Star
They
Wars.
should have stopped after Tokyo Drift.
It's the
Oh,
third one.
no.
Exactly.
Dude, no, because 5 is one of the
5 is
best ones.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I say that because of the actual racing, You know,
Oh
the,
yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
racing was done after 3, obviously.
But even like, yeah, they turned it into like a high
Heist and like
state, like yeah, an
type of-
action movie, which I'm cool with it until it started to get ridiculous.
until they
until they
went
were
into
catching
space.
cars when they started catching cars with their hands.
Yeah. And then Vin Diesel's just so full of himself. I'm sorry, man. He's like already talking like this movie, yeah, it's gonna win Oscars.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
not.
about
What?
that.
Dude, he also
No,
said it was oh my god, I wish that he compared the franchise to oh my god, I almost want to say Star Wars, but it was literally something like that.
Probably.
Where he like compared
God.
the like that the impact or whatever it was, and I was like, what? Oh man, I don't know, whatever. All right, well, we're excited for all those movies, obviously.
yeah.
There's plenty more. There's other ones, we'll try to talk about in future episodes. I know there was a Transformers trailer that
Indiana
dropped, Indiana
Jones.
Jones as well.
There was that Nike movie too
Not
about
Air,
Michael.
which I'm very excited for that
I'm
actually.
excited for that one too
Yeah.
because Matt
Yeah.
Damon and Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck's doing it.
Yeah.
He's a
Ben Affleck.
director.
So Ben
Yeah.
Affleck's actually directing it and
That
playing
looks amazing.
Phil Knight, which is awesome. But yeah, tons of movie talk. So we'll definitely get another episode on here talking about some movies for sure. But we'll wrap it up. This is definitely a longer episode because we had a lot to talk about, especially all the stuff, Buckeye drama, Funko in general. Like there's a lot of mess going on with Funko, man, and it's not looking good, but they're still here, still around. We're still going to be supporting them. We're still going to be, buying stuff Funko if you're listening. If you made it this far in the episode and didn't shut it off after the first few minutes, we
still
still
love
do
you.
love you. We still will be spending our money on your stuff, including the NFTs that are dropping. But yeah, that'll be it for the episode. So thank you to Trae, first of all, again, for being on. We appreciate you. Part of the Collector Council. Always, love having you on here, getting your take as well. Charlie will let everybody know, like we usually do, where to follow us and everything. We appreciate all of you guys. Make sure that you are commenting down below, though. We definitely want to make sure this episode's getting as much traction as possible. We want to get it out there. We're going to Buckeye the hell out of this tag and see if we can get some new viewers, new people giving us their thoughts. What you guys think about everything that's been going on and the chaos. But Charlie, you can let us go.
Yeah. So once again, everyone, make sure you're following us if you're listening on Spotify and as well on all other podcast platforms. But if you're on Spotify, make sure you interact us with those questions. This week will definitely be a Buckeye question. So really want to get your answers to that one. And then if you're on YouTube, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We really, really appreciate it. Make sure you like this video, you comment, you subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. Because I keep saying this past few episodes, we've been dropping a bunch of shorts. We're obviously going to have NFT videos coming out. And, we really just really need your guys' help because we need this to start getting pushed out to more people because, come on, everyone knows our content is straight up fire. And then also, make sure you're following us on social media at Collector Chatter. And then obviously at our personal collecting accounts at pop_migs and at collector_Charlie. And then Trae, also let everyone know where they can find you.
Instagram is going to be STX Collectibles. Twitter is STX Collectibles as well. And then obviously TikTok is STX_Collectibles. And then, of course, my YouTube channel is South Texas Collectibles. Find me on all those. I put out shorts, put out videos as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. He has great content. So everyone at this point, if you're a fan of ours, you probably already are subscribed. But if you're new to our channel, obviously you got to go check him out. His stuff is awesome.
Thank you.
But
again,
with
thank
all
you
that,
for having me.
No, of course. We love having you on here. It's always fun, especially to get someone to bounce off of me and Migs, adds a little extra color. But it's just, I don't know. It's been a great chat. This was like a really good one. But with that being said, everyone, happy Valentine's Day and good luck on that NFT drop. And until the next video, later, everyone.
Take it easy, everyone.
Later.